This makes me a king. There's a lot happening in the world right now. A lot of stuff, a lot of anxiety, a lot of things closing down, like our church. That's why I'm doing this. A lot of anxiety happening lately. And I think I should talk about that a little bit, so I'm going to. A lot of anxiety with Corona right now. Obviously, so many people are being worried about what's going to happen with this whole virus. Schools are closing, shops are closing or have shortened hours, restaurants are closed unless you can get in and get out real fast. And I mean, clearly people are afraid of this. I think there's a good reason for it. This could be a serious danger for us. I mean, look what happened in China or Italy a couple weeks ago or a few months ago. It's a very serious disease that could be a problem. But people are still really, really scared. I want to talk about one main thing that's been going on. And it has been lovingly called panic buying. Now, that's why I hold this up to you. Because this is like Mad Max, but instead of gas, it's toilet paper. People need to wipe, and they don't have things to wipe with, I guess. Toilet paper are being cleaned out of stores. Cleaning products are being bought. Food. I went to Aldi and Giant Eagle yesterday, and there was almost no toilet paper. All the fresh meat was gone. All the cleaning supplies were completely wiped out. There was nothing there. I want to talk about Matthew 6:25-34. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or what about your body, what you'll wear. Isn't there more to life than food and more to the body than clothing? Look at the birds of the sky. They do not sow or reap or gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Aren't you more valuable than they are? And which of you by worrying can add even an hour to his life? Why do you worry about clothing? Think about how the flowers of the field grow. They do not work or spin. Yet I tell you that even Solomon in all his glory was not clothed like one of these. And if this is how God clothes the wild grass, which is here today and tomorrow is tossed into the fire to heat the oven, won't he clothe you even more, you people of little faith? So then don't worry saying, what will we eat, or what will we drink, or what will we wear, or what will we wipe with? For the unconverted pursue these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But above all, pursue his kingdom and righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. So then don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Today has enough trouble of its own. I want to start talking about, look at the birds of the sky. Even they're fed. People are buying so much in bulk, afraid that they won't have enough food to eat in the next week or even the next day. It's hard to think in the world that we live in that God is still providing for us, but he is, and it's really important now. There's this thing in theology called providence, and what it is, it's kind of like the invisible hand of the economy. Everything moves the way it should, as it is with God. God makes sure everything is working for his good and for his kingdom. Buying more in fear of not having enough isn't necessarily a bad thing in and of itself, but buying too much and not having enough for others, it can be. God feeds the smallest of creatures on this earth. Buying things in bulk needlessly when you don't have the need for them is taking that right away from other people. And I know a lot of people with big families, and they went to shops and there's not enough food for them. In a time like this, it is so important to remember that God exists. When people are afraid where their paycheck is going to come from, or people are afraid where their next meal is going to come from, yeah, that's a problem. It is. But it's the best time to remember that God is here and that God is providing. If he provides for the flowers, he provides for us. A lot of people are being affected by this, and it's scary, but take heart in the fact that God is here and that God is with us. He is here, and he's not given up on any of us, and he's not going anywhere. Worrying about tomorrow. Don't worry about tomorrow, because today has enough problem of its own. Probably the greatest thing ever said, ever. Today sucks enough, basically. So stick with that. We have enough to worry about today. Even taking care of yourself, getting fed, looking outside at the sun, getting a little bit of exercise, walking around, maybe even watching a movie can mean the world to you. You have to worry about today. This isn't to say thinking in the future isn't necessarily bad. People buy food for the week all the time, and people buy toilet paper, but think about the next few flushes, maybe not the next few thousand. And finally, if Jesus talks about anxiety, it's going to happen. Anxiety is real, especially right now with everything happening in the world. I never knew that for Lent, every single person would give up society. So that's interesting. It's important to remember that Jesus has you in the palm of his hand, and you're not going anywhere. God still feeds the birds, and he'll feed you too. There's a lot of people worried about getting fed, about getting clothes, or having toilet paper. Now's a better time than ever to remember that God is providing for us, and you cannot let that go in a time like this. Don't panic. God's here. God's hand is in all of this. Before you see zero toilet paper, or before you go to buy it all, think, do you have enough for today? And are you safe for today? Worry about today. And we'll start from there.